Exactly. They say that there's no bad weather, just bad clothing for it. If you're dressed well for it, you're not cold. Old Ford Explorer Sport. And at a certain point, the key stopped working on the driver's side.
We just launched recently, and it's really about dissecting and unboxing these labels and these tropes.
Paris, the city of lights, elegance, and timeless fashion. You know, the place where style is basically a religion and grace is everything. But one night in 2025, all of that got flipped upside down because Meghan Markle didn't just show up to Paris Fashion Week. Oh no, she absolutely took it over. Picture this. Designers are standing there in shock. Organizers are scrambling like crazy. And the internet? The internet completely lost its mind.
Meghan, once again, our girl has popped out.
What was supposed to be this beautiful celebration of creativity and artistry turned into something nobody saw coming. By the time the night ended, Meghan had broken every single unspoken rule that Paris holds sacred. Now, before we dive into this mess, hit that like button and subscribe because what happens next is absolutely wild. Turn on notifications so you don't miss these stories. Trust me, you'll want to see where this goes. So, what really went down behind those closed doors? From the second she walked in, people knew something was off. And by the end of the night, she'd turned Paris Fashion Week into her own personal circus. Let's get into it. So from the second Meghan walks into that venue, everyone knows something's different. Like you can just feel it in the air. The energy shifts immediately. She's got that attitude, head high, shoulders back, full entourage trailing behind her, like she's walking into the Met Gala, not a collaborative fashion event. And the vibe she's giving off?
Pictorial evidence emerging of just how twisted Meghan Markle was in Paris in order to
zero interest in playing nice with anyone. This isn't a woman who came to participate or network or appreciate the art. This is someone who came to dominate, plain and simple. So the stylists, right? They're trying to help her nail the perfect Paris look, because that's literally their job. These are people who've been in the industry for years, who've dressed A-list celebrities for the biggest events in the world. They know what works at Fashion Week. They understand the aesthetic, and they're genuinely trying to make her shine. They're putting together options, suggesting looks.
Meghan Markle mocked for Zoolander walk at Paris Fashion Week.
A specific change to Buckingham Palace as part of
trying to find that perfect balance. But Meghan, she shuts them down. Every single one. Doesn't even consider their suggestions. Just flat out rejects everything they're throwing at her. No discussion, no collaboration, just no, no, no. And here's where it gets good. She tells one designer, and people heard this like it spread through the room, I don't follow trends, I set them. Now look, confidence is great. We love confidence. A confident woman who knows what she wants, that's powerful, but there's this razor-thin line between being confident and being...
Paris Fashion Week, making her first Fashion Week appearance in over a decade. The Balenciaga show was clearly meant to be her grand
arrogant. And that night, she was tap dancing right on that line. Actually, scratch that. She'd crossed it. The moment she steps inside the main venue, the whole vibe shifts even more. Cameras that were pointing at the runway, at the actual models and designs, suddenly swivel toward her. Conversations just stop mid-sentence. You've got designers, editors, industry veterans, people who've seen everything. And they're all staring, whispering to each other, trying to figure out what's about to happen. There's this tension building.
So, Pier Paolo Piccioli just showed his debut Balenciaga collection, and the wildest part for me was not even the clothes.
Because it's obvious, painfully obvious, that Meghan didn't come here to blend in with the crowd. She didn't come to appreciate the designers or celebrate the artistry that makes Paris Fashion Week what it is. Nope. She came to own the entire room, to make it about her. And everyone could feel it. It was like watching someone walk into a library and start screaming. Wrong energy, wrong place. Now here's where things really heat up, because it wasn't just about the clothes anymore. It was the attitude that came with them.
While visiting Paris, Meghan Markle shot a video right near the spot where Princess Diana's fatal accident.
And people were starting to notice, big time. The designers, they're genuinely shocked. Like, these are professionals who've worked with divas, with high-maintenance celebrities, with people who have massive egos. They've seen it all. But the way Meghan's acting, it's on another level. She's rejecting almost everything they prepared for her. And we're not talking about one or two pieces. We're talking about outfit after outfit after outfit. Things that were specifically curated for this event, designed to make her look incredible.
Hey guys, welcome back to Archer Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you. What?
Gone, rejected, not good enough. And her explanation for all this, get ready for it. It's not royal enough. That's what she keeps saying. She wants power. She wants prestige. She wants every single piece to scream, look at me, I'm important. The fashion team is standing there trying to gently remind her, hey, Paris Fashion Week isn't about that. It's about collaboration. It's about celebrating artistry, creativity, the work that these designers have poured their hearts into. It's supposed to be this beautiful exchange of ideas and appreciation.
Alrighty. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today.
But that message, it doesn't land, not even close. Meghan's not hearing it, or maybe she's hearing it and just doesn't care. Because in her mind, this event has one purpose, to showcase her. Not the designers, not the fashion, not the artistry, just her. One stylist spills this later, and honestly, it says everything. It stopped being about the clothes the second she walked in. Think about that for a second. At a fashion event, where clothes are literally the entire point, it stopped being about the clothes.
Oh, Meghan Markle parachuting into Paris Fashion Week like she's here to reclaim relevance, one beige bedsheet at a time. It's her first...
Because Meghan made it about something else entirely. Her image, her brand, her moment. And you could feel the tension building. People are exchanging glances, having quiet conversations in corners, wondering how this is all going to play out. Because it's becoming painfully clear that this night isn't going the way anyone expected. Okay, so get this. She flat out refuses to wear the dress that the sponsoring brand chose for her. Like, the brand that's literally sponsoring part of the event. The one that probably paid good money to have their design showcased.
Okay, picture this. Meghan Markle strutting out of Paris hotel like she's just won America's next top duchess.
That worked with the organizers for weeks to make sure everything was perfect. She looks at it and just says no, doesn't give them a heads up, doesn't try to work it out beforehand, doesn't even attempt a compromise. Just straight up refuses it. Done. Not happening. And then she picks something completely different. Something that wasn't part of the plan, wasn't coordinated with anyone, wasn't even on the schedule. Just decides on her own, right there in the moment, that this is what she's wearing instead.
The news is saying Meghan Markle's Paris Fashion Week walk gave Zoolander energy, and honestly, they're not.
No discussion, no approval, just her making executive decisions about an event she doesn't even run. The entire schedule thrown into absolute chaos. Because here's the thing about these events, they're timed down to the minute. Every outfit, every appearance, every photo op, every single moment, it's all planned out weeks, sometimes months, in advance. Everyone knows their role, everyone knows the timing, everyone's prepared. It's like a well-oiled machine with dozens of moving parts.
Right, this is happening right now. This is Paris Fashion Week. Meghan Markle is in attendance at the...
All working in perfect sync until Meghan shows up and throws a wrench into the whole thing. Organizers are scrambling around, trying to figure out how to adjust everything on the fly. They're on their phones, they're running around backstage, they're trying to keep the whole thing from falling apart. Photographers are getting visibly annoyed because the lighting's set up for specific shots with specific outfits. And now nothing's matching what they prepared for. The angles are wrong, the colors are off, everything's thrown. Stylists are frustrated because they've been working on this for days, maybe weeks.
News is saying Meghan Markle's Paris Fashion Week walk gave Zoolander energy, and honestly, they're not.
Coordinating colors and themes and aesthetics, making sure every detail is perfect, and all of that out the window, just gone, wasted. Designers are literally standing there in the background, watching this unfold in real time, wondering if any of this was even worth it. Like, was it worth the stress? Was it worth the chaos? Was it worth the headache of having their carefully planned, meticulously organized event turned completely upside down by one person who refused to play along? And here's what really gets people talking.
I smiled, but at that moment, I was almost about to cry. Many people criticized me for being cold or lacking.
Word starts spreading from the PR team, and someone drops this line that basically sums up the whole night. She treated Fashion Week like the Oscars. And that's it right there. That's the problem in one sentence. Because Fashion Week isn't the Oscars. It's not about one person walking a red carpet and stealing all the spotlight for themselves. It's not about individual glory or personal branding. It's a collaborative celebration of design, creativity, and craftsmanship. It's about the collective. But Meghan, she turned it into her personal red carpet moment.
Have you noticed the change in Meghan Markle's expression after being ignored at Paris Fashion Week? No one realized that a subconscious move of hers made
her solo show, her spotlight. What should have been this beautiful, elegant celebration of fashion, this showcase of incredible artistry, turned into straight-up headline chaos. The kind of chaos where nobody's talking about the clothes anymore. Nobody's talking about the designers or the artistry or the incredible work that went into the collections. Everyone's talking about her, and not in a good way. Within hours, the internet absolutely explodes.
Have you noticed the change in Meghan Markle's expression after being ignored at Paris Fashion Week? No one realized that a subconscious move of hers made—
And I mean explodes. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform you can think of, everyone's got an opinion about what just happened. The videos are spreading, the photos are circulating, and people are dissecting every single moment of the night. It's trending everywhere. You can't scroll for 5 seconds without seeing something about Meghan at Paris Fashion Week. And listen, the fans are divided, like completely split down the middle. It's wild to watch. And on one side, you've got people praising her. They're out here saying she's bold, she's confident.
Meghan Markle is facing a new wave of backlash after posting a video of herself.
She's redefining what power looks like. They see her refusing to follow the rules as this empowering move, like she's breaking boundaries and doing things her own way. They're calling her a trailblazer, someone who doesn't bow down to industry standards. In their eyes, she walked into Paris and owned it. Period. But then you've got the critics, and they're not buying any of it. They're saying, that's not empowerment, that's entitlement. They see the same behavior, and they're calling it out as disrespectful, tone-deaf, completely missing the point of what Fashion Week is supposed to be about.
Meghan Markle just tried to make her Paris Fashion Week debut, and honestly, it looked more like a last-minute PTA meeting than high fashion.
To them, this wasn't confidence. It was arrogance wrapped in designer clothes. And then one fashion editor drops this comment that honestly nails the whole situation. There's a difference between standing your ground and pushing everyone away. That's it right there. That's what everyone's trying to articulate, but can't quite put into words. Because yeah, being confident is great. Standing up for yourself is important. But there's a line, and when you cross that line, you're not just being strong, you're being difficult. You're alienating the very people you're supposed to be working with.
Meghan Markle just proved she's mastered the art of a fashion turnaround. Over the weekend during Paris Fashion Week, she stunned.
People start doing comparisons too. They're pulling up photos and videos of other high-profile guests at the same event. Celebrities, influencers, other big names who managed to shine, who got their moment in the spotlight, who looked absolutely incredible, but who also respected the event. Who worked with the designers instead of against them. Who understood the assignment, basically. And the comparison? Brutal. It makes Meghan's approach look even worse because you can see exactly what she could have done differently.
Meghan mocked a model who fell on the runway, and Camilla laughed at the Inuit people welcoming her. No one noticed that they are actually the same kind of person.
Her whole approach felt desperate, like she was fighting so hard to prove she still matters, that she's still relevant, that people should still be paying attention to her. And ironically, that desperation is exactly what made it all fall apart. Because when you're trying that hard, when the effort is that visible, people see right through it. Confidence is supposed to be effortless. This was anything but. Here's the thing, this was supposed to be her big moment, like her grand return to the fashion world.
What I'm going to talk about today is even worse than that awkward head bump Meghan Markle gave Balenciaga's Italian designer when she tried.
You know, the whole elegant comeback story, former royal turnstile icon stepping back into the spotlight with grace and sophistication. That's what this was supposed to be. A redemption arc, a fresh start, a chance to show the world that she's moved on, evolved, matured, proof that she could still command attention in the right way, that she belonged in these elite circles, that she wasn't just riding on past fame, but building something new. This was her opportunity to rewrite the narrative.
No wonder Christine Scott ignored Meghan's attempts to approach her, but shows great respect for Queen Elizabeth. Recently, Meghan made her...
Instead, another absolute storm of criticism. The complete opposite of what she wanted, the opposite of what anyone expected, and even the event organizers didn't see this coming. These are people who plan for everything, who have contingency plans for their contingency plans. They've dealt with difficult personalities before. They've handled divas, they've managed massive egos, they've navigated last-minute changes. But this, they weren't prepared for this level of chaos, for this magnitude of drama.
Okay, picture this. Meghan Markle strutting out of Paris hotel like she's just won America's next top duchess.
Insiders are whispering about it afterwards, still trying to process what happened, and one of them puts it perfectly. We thought this would be her redemption moment. Instead, it was chaos. Just straight up chaos. Pure, unfiltered chaos that nobody could have predicted. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some people think this was deliberate, like maybe she knew exactly what she was doing. Maybe this wasn't a mistake at all, maybe it was the plan all along. Because controversy sells, right? Bad press is still press.
The Duchess of Sussex has once again found herself at the center of public attention. This time, not for what she said.
A headline, even a negative one, keeps your name out there, keeps people talking, keeps you trending, keeps you relevant in a world that moves on fast. And Meghan, she knows how to play the media game. She's done it before. She's watched it work. She understands that in today's world, with the 24-hour news cycle and the constant scroll of social media, being forgotten is worse than being criticized. Being invisible is the real death. So maybe, just maybe, this whole thing was strategic. A calculated, deliberate move to make sure everyone remembered she exists.
What? Like she's so stiff and regal and pristine and like got a specific face.
To guarantee she'd dominate the headlines for days, to ensure her name stayed in people's mouths. But here's the risk with that approach, and it's a big one. The fashion world, it doesn't forget. Like ever. This industry has a memory that goes back decades, sometimes generations. They remember who was professional, who was difficult, who respected the craft and the people behind it, and who treated designers and organizers like they were beneath them. They remember who showed up with humility and who showed up with attitude.
Rumor has it that Meghan Markle was paid upwards of $1 million for her appearance.
It's a tight-knit community where everyone knows everyone and word spreads fast. Faster than you'd think. Getting labeled as difficult to work with, that's not something that just goes away after a few months or a good PR campaign. That label follows you around like a shadow. It closes doors before you even know they were open. It makes designers think twice, 3 times before working with you again. It makes organizers hesitate, check with others, weigh the risks before sending you an invitation to their next event. And that's the gamble Meghan took that night. Sure, she got the attention, she got the headlines splashed across every entertainment site, she got people talking, debating, arguing about her for days. But at what cost? What did she actually gain versus what did she lose? Because now she's not just the woman who attended Paris Fashion Week. She's the woman who turned it into a disaster, who made it about her drama instead of the designer's art. And in an industry that
Meghan, one look here, Meghan. Yes, thank you, Meghan.
values grace, professionalism, and collaboration above almost everything else, an industry built on relationships and mutual respect, that's not a reputation you want to have. That's not the legacy you want to build. Everything had to be perfect. And I mean everything. The lighting had to be just right, angled exactly the way she wanted. The photos had to be taken from specific positions. Every interaction, every conversation, every moment had to be carefully managed and controlled. She wasn't leaving anything to chance. This was her night, her comeback, and she was going to micromanage every single detail of it. But here's the problem. The effort was so visible, like painfully visible. You could see her calculating every move, positioning herself for every shot, making sure the cameras caught her good side. It wasn't natural. It wasn't effortless. It was manufactured, staged, overly choreographed. And when you're trying that hard to look perfect, people notice.
When I saw Meg's nails during Paris Fashion Week, I knew it was going to be my next manicure. And as you can tell, I'm obsessed.
They see the strings, they see the effort, and it makes everything feel forced. She wouldn't adjust to the event's flow either. Fashion Week has a rhythm, a pace, a way things are supposed to move. There are scheduled moments, planned transitions, a carefully orchestrated timeline that keeps everything running smoothly. But Meghan, she was operating on her own schedule. She'd stop when she wanted to stop, move when she wanted to move, completely disregarding what everyone else needed to do. It was like she expected the entire event to revolve around her timeline instead of the other way around. The whole night started feeling tense because of it. Awkward, way too staged, like watching a performance instead of experiencing an actual event. People weren't having fun anymore, they were just trying to get through it. The energy that should have been creative and exciting turned stiff and uncomfortable. And backstage, the whispers weren't kind. People were talking, comparing notes, sharing their experiences with her. She ignored schedules left and right.
Royal surprise at Paris Fashion Week. The Duchess of Sussex spotted sitting front row at the debut show for...
Photographers would tell her, "We need you here at this time for this shot." And she'd show up 20 minutes late or not show up at all. Stylists would explain the plan for the evening, and she'd just wave them off. Directors would give her cues about where to be and when, and she'd do her own thing anyway. She was brushing off directions from people who've been doing this for decades, people who know this industry inside and out, people who've worked with the biggest names in entertainment and fashion. Their experience, their expertise.
Dress like a trophy, act like a trophy, talk like a trophy, okay? Treat yourself like a trophy. Make sure every hair is in place.
Didn't matter to her. And here's what really got people upset. She treated everyone like they were her personal assistants. The staff, the crew, the designers, people who were there to make the event successful, not to cater to one person's demands. She'd snap her fingers, make demands, expect immediate responses. There was no please, no thank you, no basic courtesy, just orders, just expectations that everyone would drop what they were doing to accommodate her. The irony of it all.
At least he's got to say, right, we've got to keep looking forward, because the forward bit is the important bit with regard to the royal family.
The more she tried to control her image, the faster it slipped away. Every attempt to make herself look perfect just made her look more difficult. Every effort to command the spotlight just made people talk about her behavior instead of her style. She wanted total control, but control was the one thing she didn't have. Because you can't control how people perceive you when your actions are speaking louder than your intentions. So she wanted attention, and oh boy, did she get it. Just not the kind she was hoping for.
Schofield attacks Harry and Meghan over Project Healthy Minds Award,
the first show that
citing
I've
their
seen it
toxic
on.
fan
Harry
base
and Meghan
and
Markle.
Social media turned her into memes, like actual memes, the kind that spread across every platform within hours. People were screenshotting moments from the event, clipping videos, zooming in on her facial expressions, her poses, the way she moved through the venue, and they weren't creating tribute pages or fan edits. They were roasting her. Hard. The hashtags started trending everywhere, but not in a flattering way. You'd scroll through Twitter and see joke after joke.
You know, when you think about it, just days after Meghan Markle launched herself back in the Parisian world.
Instagram was flooded with side-by-side comparisons showing her versus other celebrities who actually understood the vibe. TikTok creators were doing reaction videos, reenactments, making fun of the whole situation. It was brutal, and it was everywhere. You couldn't escape it even if you tried. People who barely knew her name suddenly became invested in this story. They're asking questions like, wait, who is this? And why is she acting like this? Complete strangers who don't follow fashion, who've never watched Paris Fashion Week before.
Mom's night out.
Yeah, Mom's night out in Paris. The Duchess of Sussex taking her 4-point...
Are suddenly commenting, sharing, giving their 2 cents. That's how big this got. It broke out of the fashion bubble and became mainstream entertainment. And then there was that one meme, you know the one it said, when you think you're the main character, but Paris disagrees. Ouch. That one really captured the whole night in a single sentence. It went viral, got shared thousands of times, became the defining commentary on her entire appearance. And honestly, it was accurate. That's exactly what happened.
Now let's have a look at Meghan Markle being weird and inauthentic.
Paris Fashion Week is a world built on a flawless...
For someone who spent years carefully managing her image, crafting every public appearance, controlling the narrative around her life, this was a massive miscalculation, a huge misstep. Because there's being noticed, and then there's being turned into a punchline. There's commanding attention, and then there's becoming the joke everyone's laughing at. She crossed that line without even realizing it. She blurred it completely. The line between being iconic and being a spectacle, between being memorable and being mockable.
Oh, Meghan Markle parachuting into Paris Fashion Week like she's here to reclaim relevance, one beige bedsheet at a time. It's her first...
And once that happens, once the internet decides you're funny instead of fabulous, it's really hard to come back from that. The memes stick around. They get reposted months later. They become part of how people remember you. And that's not the legacy anyone wants, especially not someone trying to build a brand, trying to stay relevant in an industry that moves fast and forgets faster. The internet's got a long memory when it comes to embarrassing moments. Screenshots last forever. Videos get downloaded and re-uploaded. That one bad night...
Come on now. We knew it wasn't going to be long after Meghan just broke the internet.
It becomes your defining moment if you're not careful. And for Meghan, Paris Fashion Week 2025 became exactly that. Not a triumphant return, not a style moment, but the night she became a meme. The next morning, the gossip pages are absolutely on fire. Like, every single entertainment site, fashion blog, news outlet, everyone's covering this. The headlines are rolling in nonstop. But here's the thing. Nobody's talking about the fashion.
I wanted to punch myself in the face when I saw this video because she's doing this like slow motion model.
Nobody's talking about the incredible designs that walked the runway, the craftsmanship, the artistry that these designers poured months into creating. Nope. Every single headline is about the drama, about her, about the chaos, about what went wrong, and behind the scenes, fashion insiders are having quiet conversations. The kind of conversations that happen in corners, over coffee, in private messages. They're talking about future events, future invitations, future collaborations.
She's in Paris. She's actually maybe doesn't realize she's approaching the tunnel where Diana died. And then she shows herself putting...
And Meghan's name keeps coming up, but not in a good way. People are asking each other, would you work with her again? And the hesitation in those conversations says everything you need to know. Because word spreads fast in Paris, faster than most people realize. This isn't some massive industry where you can mess up in one place and start fresh somewhere else. It's tight-knit. Everyone knows everyone. Designers talk to each other. Organizers compare notes. Stylists share their experiences.
Meghan Markle just hijacked Kevin Costner's charity event in 3 surprising ways. Reason 1, the entrance.
And when someone gets a reputation for being difficult to work with, that information travels. It moves through the community like wildfire. And that's the thing about this industry. It thrives on grace and collaboration. Those aren't just nice-to-have qualities, they're essential. They're what make these events work. Fashion Week is built on relationships, on mutual respect, on people coming together to celebrate creativity. When you disrupt that, when you make it difficult for everyone around you, people remember and they talk.
It is very nice to be back in the UK. And it is very nice.
Being labeled as difficult, that's basically the kiss of death in fashion. It doesn't matter how famous you are, how many followers you have, how much buzz your name generates. If you're difficult to work with, if you make everyone's job harder, if you turn what should be a celebration into a stressful nightmare, designers will think twice about dressing you. Organizers will reconsider sending you invitations. Brands will wonder if the headache is worth the publicity. Everyone's asking the same question now. Was this calculated?
In the front row, he is showing that Balenciaga is done with the dystopian dumbing down of the house. It's going back to its roots and grace.
Was this her actual plan to create chaos and controversy because any press is good press? Or did she genuinely mess up? Did she walk into Paris thinking this would go one way, only to have it completely backfire on her? And honestly, it doesn't really matter which one it is, because either way, she dominated the conversation. She got people talking, she trended on every platform, she made headlines around the world. Mission accomplished, right? Except, here's what people don't get.
Is really not thriving. Of course, lots of speculation too that
Dominating the conversation isn't the same as winning. Getting attention isn't the same as getting respect. Making headlines isn't the same as making a positive impact. She walked away from Paris Fashion Week as the most talked about person from the event, but she didn't walk away as the most admired. She didn't walk away with new opportunities. She didn't walk away with the fashion world wanting more of her. She walked away as a cautionary tale, a lesson in how not to handle a comeback, a reminder that in a world built on collaboration and grace,
figure, and we all know anybody who's having her housework done, they know it always takes time, it always takes a lot longer than anticipated.
Trying to make everything about yourself doesn't just fail, it backfires spectacularly. So here's what it all comes down to. Meghan came to Paris to prove she's still a power player. She wanted to show the world that she matters, that she's relevant, that she can still command a room. And you know what? She got the attention, she got the headlines, she got millions of people watching and talking. Mission accomplished, right? But here's what she didn't get: respect, admiration, grace, the kind of attention that actually opens doors instead of closing them.
Paris Fashion Week into a power pair parade that's got the front row fainting and the fashion faithful.
Years from now, when people look back on Paris Fashion Week 2025, they're not going to remember the stunning collections or the incredible craftsmanship. They're going to remember her, the drama, the tension, the spectacle. She wanted her coronation moment, that triumphant return where everyone acknowledges her as fashion royalty. But Paris handed her a reality check instead. Because here's the truth. In a city that celebrates effortless elegance, trying too hard shows.
Says, remember me? I used to know Harry. She sidles up near Dame Kristin Scott Thomas. Perhaps expecting...
When you're forcing it, when you're demanding attention instead of earning it, people see right through it. She chased the spotlight, and it found her. But instead of elevating her, it exposed everything. Every flaw, every misstep, every moment where she chose ego over collaboration. And the lesson, you can't demand the crown. You can't force people to respect you. You earn it quietly, through grace, through treating people well, and letting your work do the talking. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. And that's the one rule Meghan Markle seemed determined to break that night in Paris. So, what do you think? Was this calculated to stay relevant, or did she genuinely miscalculate? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Because trust me, we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.